Hello everyone, I am Advocate Ravi Rathod, practicing in the Apex Court of India. Today I'll talk about disability pension. Now, before going to explain what disability pension in armed forces. So, what disability pension in armed forces is, what are the various elements of it, what are the main points about it. Let me talk about one news article which is recently published in the newspaper. The details, the link of that news article I have given in the explanation. It is from Times of India as well as from Indian Express and many other different newspapers. So, as per that news article, Department of Military Affairs, headed by Chief of Defence Staff of India, has set up a panel to look into the increased number of pensioners who are getting the pension or who are coming out of service with a disability pension. The number is increasing. So what is the history behind setup of this panel is, last month CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, has tabled a report in the Parliament. What that report is, that report has asked Army Headquarters and the Ministry of Defence, Government of India, to analyze the reasons for increase in the disability pensioners, number of disability pensioners in armed forces, as well as to find out why the number of officers, especially the medical officers who are retiring from the army, are getting disability pension or they are coming out with one or other disability. As per the data given in that report, CAG report I am talking about, once it is Jawan, then 15 to 18% of Jawans who are retiring every year are retiring with disability pension. What is the percentage? 15 to 18%. In case of officers, the percentage goes higher from 36 to 40%, almost double from the Jawans. 36 to 40% of officers in the army are retiring with disability pension. Now, surprising, the medical officers of the army, and that too mainly the doctors of the army, once they are retiring, 44 to 58% of the medical officers and doctors of the army are retiring with disability pension. So why disability pension is talked about? Because once somebody is retiring with disability pension, then the pension of that retired person goes higher up to 30%. Suppose somebody is retiring with a pension of 100 rupees, and if disability element is also added in that pension, then that pension can go up to 130 rupees, means 30% higher a pensioner can get if he is retiring with one or other disability. So now CAG has asked for the report from the army, and in consequence to that, CDS has set up this panel. This is about, means why I have talked about it. It's about my viewers to decide what may be the reasons. They may comment in the comment box that what they think is the reason between the difference, a wide difference between the Jawans and officers who are retiring with disability pension. Now coming back to what disability pension is. Disability pension that can go up to 30% maximum. If somebody is retiring with 100% disability, then he will get 30% of the last emoluments or the last pay, you can say, drawn by that person as a pension. So that disability pension is in addition to the regular pension. What is the eligibility? What is the eligibility to get the disability pension in the armed forces? Eligibility is if somebody is disabled. Percentage of disability 20% or more. if somebody is disabled 20% or more, that disability is either attributed to or aggravated by service. Attributed to service means the reason of that disability is service in one way or another, and aggravated by service means that disability was there in that person, but that disability has been aggravated. Aggravated means it has gone worse because of the service. So once the disability is aggravated by service or attributable to service, and that percentage of disability is 20% or more, then the person will retire with a disability pension. That pension will be in addition to it, or we can say disability pension has two elements. One is service element, another is disability element. So service element, like I have already talked, somebody is retiring. In case of Jawan in army, pensionable service is 15 years. So after 15 years, if somebody is retiring, then he will get normal pension, regular pension. That will be called as service element of pension. And if he is disabled at the same time, at the time of retirement, so that disability element will be added into it, and it can go up to 130%, means 30% can be added. This is what the disability pension is and the eligibility. Now some more points which are very important in case of disability pension is that suppose a person, a defense personnel who retires today, and after 3 years or 4 years of his or her retirement, that person is diagnosed with some disease, or that person has become a disabled for 20% or more, and the reason of that disability can be attributed back to the service. So the rule is that after up to 7 years of retirement, if a disability occurs and that disability can be attributed to service, then that retired personnel also, even up to 7 years, can claim for the disability pension other than the pension which he or she is already receiving. So this is about the rule of 7 years after retirement. One another rule is broad bending, or in general term we can call it rounding off. Suppose a person is retiring with a disability of 20%. So what the rule of broad bending says, that it will automatically be rounded off to 50%. Less than 20%, remember, if somebody is disabled for less than 20%, then there is no disability element in that pension, no disability pension. But if disability goes up to 20%, then it will automatically round off to 50%. So this is the rule of broad bending or rounding off. One another point here is that how the disability or the percentage or the attributability, whether some disease, suppose somebody is at the time of retirement, somebody is suffering from cancer. So whether that disease can be attributable to service or not, that has to be decided by the medical board. That medical board setup, there are various types of medical board, like release medical board or invalidating medical board or review medical board. So these medical boards, guided by the guiding, there are some guidelines given to the medical officers for military pensions 2002, as far as I can remember. Yes, so as per those guidelines, these medical boards will decide whether the disability is attributable to the service or aggravated by the service, and what is the percentage of disability. So that is regarding determination of percentage and attributability. Now one more important point here is, suppose a pensioner is getting disability pension. Disability pension, as I have already told, service element, it consists of service element plus disability element. and that pensioner dies. Now, ordinarily, family will be granted pension in lieu of the person, the pensioner who has died. So now family pension in case of disability pension can be regarding only to the service element, not to the disability element. For disability element, there will be no family pension. This is what the rule says. Next is, when a person is disabled but he is not able to get pension, disability pension, that is, we generally call it nana cases. Nana, neither attributable to nor aggravated by service. If suppose somebody is disabled because of any reason that can be or the reason for that disability can be the person himself, then in that case service will not provide disability, because there is no fault of service, or there is nothing has happened in the ordinary course of service. So that's why service will not take responsibility of it, and service will not provide any disability pension to that person. So that's all about disability pension. If there is any question which you want to ask me, you can write in the comment box. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Advocate Ravi Rathod, and you can like my video, share my video. I will definitely come up with some more videos that is regarding to armed forces personnel and their pensions and their benefits. Thank you so much.